This is the Commodities and Recycling Report brought to you by BENLEE, the industry leader in roll-off trailers and open-top scrap trailers, as well as Raleigh and Goldsmith Metal Recycling, the leaders in North Carolina for scrap metal, cardboard, electronics, and junk cars. Today is Monday, July 13, 2015. My name is Greg Brown, President and CEO of the companies. There was nothing but turmoil and bad news in the markets last week, despite some very good news 2 weeks ago. Today, Monday, things remain very precarious, with the Greek debt issue looking like there may be some resolution, and China's stock market being a key worry to many parties. U.S. steel production came down a bit in the last 2 weeks after a few months of gains. In recent weeks, there has been word of a softening of orders in many industries, which is a major concern to many people. On the positive side, we mentioned last week that automotive sales in June had hit a 10-year high. We can add that last week the oil rig count rose for a second week in a row after 29 weeks of declines. This, along with strong automotive sales, is a positive for U.S. steel consumption. With that said, oil prices dropped about 8% last week, which is probably going to stem this U.S. oil drilling rig issue. Oil production in the U.S. remains strong, and if there is a deal on the Iran nuclear issue, that will reduce oil prices as Iranian oil flows freely. Put together, there was a dramatic change in ferrous prices last week. This chart will show a dramatic drop in next week's update. Last Monday, there was word that some markets were stable and even up, but by Tuesday, all looked down a bit, and by Wednesday, as word in China and Europe turned negative, ferrous prices came down $20 to $25 a gross ton. As an example of the bad news, the Chinese stock market, after an almost doubling in the past year, fell 36% in about a month. Since that fall, the Chinese government stepped in last week and has been pouring money into their stock market, which toward the end of the week had its best days since the crash of 2009. Note that the lowering of steel prices will further reduce the flow and profits in scrapyards, especially in the southeast, but there is enough scrap coming in from Europe on barges to meet the demand. Copper prices crashed along with steel last week. Copper hit a new 6+ year low on Wednesday. Again, as China slows, copper prices are hit hard. With oil prices yet again coming down in the last week, this should work to increase consumer spending and should actually help copper prices. Last week, aluminum had almost the exact movement as copper by hitting new 6+ year lows midweek and then bounced up a bit, just like copper. These low volumes and profits in the scrap industry took yet another toll last week. Kemp Recycling had 3 North Carolina operations 2 years ago, closed 2 of them about a year ago, and there is word that the third and last one closed this past Friday. This mostly retail scrapyard is the type of yard that is being hurt very badly in the downturn and shows no signs of getting better anytime soon. For current prices, call us at 919-828-5426 in Raleigh and 919-731-5600 in Goldsboro. We hope that all have a safe and profitable week. Tune in next week for the Commodities and Recycling Report. This is Greg Brown.